mean, the problem, you got to look at it from Duke's perspective, too. I mean, look at what's happened. It's not just that Capel hasn't gotten Pitt even close to over the hump yet. He's only built them back even a little bit from what Kevin Stallings left, which was just rubble. But think of what you had this year with Xavier Johnson and Au'Diese Toney leaving the program after Trey McGowan's left the program. It's not even just the mediocre results. It's almost that chaotic feeling that's been created by so many high-profile defections, or I guess I should say transfers.
Yeah, I thought maybe that might have been the bigger issue, not the lack of success on the court, but what is going on off the court and the turnover you see at Pitt right now. And I don't know if it's him or the coaches or just not the right fit of guys, but there isn't any consistency or stability, you want to call it. Let's go out to Tony out in the Hill District. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, how you doing? I just want to know how you guys feel.
You want to know what?
Hello?
Yeah, Tony, go ahead. You're on there.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just wanted to know how you guys felt about the NFL turning the retired players down for some help from the retired players need some help from the concussions and stuff that they adored when they was playing, because Kevin Henry said he fouled and got turned down. And he said it was a white and black thing, but I don't think it was, because I remember some years ago Kevin Green fouled too and got turned down. Don't you think these guys need some help, being as though they play ball and they having problems now?
Yeah, I mean, Tony, I do agree with that. Chris, what do you make of this whole thing? I mean, can you go back and give some of these guys that money, something, or I mean, I know they get benefits and health benefits, but how do you take care of these guys now?
The game broke a lot of these guys. It's driven a lot of these guys to suicide, to miserable post-playing career lives. The NFL is a massively popular league that prints money. And there was a white-black issue that came out earlier today where the league admitted that it was real ugly, but the league admitted that they would stop using some sort of racially biased cognitive baseline to determine which players got benefits by how cognitively impaired they were. It was just a very ugly revelation that came out today that kind of got put in a news dump format. But I really think that there are people who will say, well, these players entered into this willingly, knowing what the consequences were. The fact of the matter is they didn't. And the NFL, if it knew, and it seemed like it did, at least to a greater degree, tried to minimize what the players knew in some cases, or certainly didn't make the information readily available. So I think the way that the league has by and large treated the players who need help the most has been at the very least disappointing and at the very worst outright shameful.
Let's go out to Nunzio and Braddock. How you doing, Nunzio?
Gentlemen, hope you're having a good night. I want to talk a little bit about baseball. Let me start with the Steelers first. Do you think Ben,
yeah, what's there really to talk about? Go ahead.
Yeah, really. Do you think Ben will like having to hand off the ball to Harris instead of throwing the ball 43 or more times?
You know, I still don't. Chris, I'm not buying it. I don't think it's going to be 50-50 this year. There's no way. There's no way. I understand that he's going to change the offense. Ben said the right things yesterday, saying it's new. I just can't. I can't really buy into the fact that Ben, where he is in the stage of his career, is just totally going to adopt a new offense. There's got to be a lot of similarities, and I feel like Ben's going to do what he wants. He's going to run that offense.
I want to know if Nunzio is still on the line. Is he?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, he is.
No, all right, Nunzio, I have a question for you. A serious question. I'm not trying to be patronizing, but to what Richie said there, I mean, do you really believe in your heart of hearts that Ben, with a new coordinator who's never called plays at the NFL level, is just going to say, you're right, I'll do what you want here, I'm handing the ball off? I'm with Richie here. I don't think that he's going to just do that. I think Najee Harris is going to have to prove himself. Ben averaged last year in the games he played in the regular season 40 and a half passing attempts. You take an over/under 40 and a half average passing attempts per game this year, Rich?
You know, that's a tough one. I might take the under.
It better be under. It better be under. It needs to be under.
Yes, it needs to be under. But what if I told you 35 and a half? What would you then say?
I'd probably take the over there. I think it's going to be in that 34 to 36 range. But with Ben, I'll always guess higher. They've got to throw the ball less. One, because it would mean they were sitting on leads and closing out games that way. And two, so many of the things that they say they want to do are predicated on the idea that teams have to treat their running game like a legitimate threat. And Ben Roethlisberger, more than anybody else, even more than the line or the running back that they just drafted, he has to be willing to do that. He has to buy into the idea that that'll work, or it's not going to. That's just a fact.
I don't see how you're not going to throw the ball less than 35 times. I mean, they got 4 decent receivers, right? They got 4 guys that potentially could be really good receivers. They got a tight end that can catch the ball sometimes but can make plays. And now you're adding Najee Harris to the mix. So you're at 6 guys that potentially can make plays through the air. And we're saying that he's not going to pass the ball 40-plus times a game.
Not all passes are created equal, though. Not all passes are created equal. I'll tell you this. Let me put it in these terms. I'd much rather see 34 passes where he is on average throwing the ball much further down the field with each attempt than 42 passes where he's doing this little pop gun nonsense where he's throwing the ball a distance that you or I could throw with some degree of accuracy. Granted, if we wouldn't have 300-pound people chasing after us trying to rip our heads off, but I can't see more of this pop gun offense because it's going to be more of the same bad results that they got at the end of last year.
And now to some sad news over at Pitt. Star center from the early 90s, Eric Mobley, passed away today. He was one of only 8 players that were drafted in the NBA. He was drafted 18th overall by the Milwaukee Bucks. And that is our Tri-State Office Furniture tweet of the day. RIP Eric Mobley, 1970 to 2021.